It says she probably meant their lockers were beside each other. No, that ain't what I meant. They were sharing a locker. They were sharing a locker. No, that ain't what I meant. They were sharing a locker. They made them share a locker. I think that's why Jerry Judy said it out loud. Yeah, I'm sharing a locker with Joe Flacco. I'm like, no, that's just crazy. No, they were sharing a locker. I didn't make a mistake. Just like I said, Coach Prime need to fire Kevin Stefanski. I did not make a mistake. Sometimes I do, but not in this case. Something sinister is going on with the treatment of Shedeur, right, Wishbone? That's what they were saying at ESPN after the London game. I think it was on the show with Randy Moss. If y'all watched that one, the guy sitting to Randy Moss's right was saying there's something going on there. And that's when Rex decided to walk back his commentary, which got him in trouble, I'm sure. That said, by saying, I don't know why the kid is not playing. I'm like, didn't you call him lazy last week? You called him lazy last week, but now you don't know why he ain't playing. Shut up. And chew on them chiclets. Shut up. So basically, again, Shedeur seemed like Shedeur said, that was fast. So that's giving me the impression of what I said it is. Just like Tony Brown, just like Huntley, everybody's being taken away from Shedeur. That's to hurt Shedeur. That's evil. Channel News 5 in Cleveland need to investigate. All the news stations up there need to start investigating the Cleveland Browns for organizational malpractice. That's evil to take everybody away from Shedeur. That's what you do when you don't like somebody. Why you don't just trade him? You obviously could have traded him to the Bengals. Oh, he too valuable. You want more than a 5th round pick for him. The trade deadline is what? The 6th of November, I think Max said yesterday. I agree. I bet they make Bailey Zapp QB2. We gonna see. We gonna see. For one, they want to act like they don't hear the fan base. And that's why they tried to separate their fan base, even while they were over there in London, captioning, oh, it's the Browns fans, it's Shedeur Sanders fans. Now that's ugly. The only reason you want to separate and say it's Shedeur Sanders fans because you want to ignore the cause for him to get in, and you choose to believe your fans, the Browns fans, are okay with losing. And that's not the case. So they either heard what the big box channels were saying when they said something is wrong over there. Because if something is wrong over there and they all start saying it on these big channels, somebody going to start looking. So Flacco, get out. But I don't think it's that. I don't think they care what they think either, to a certain extent, because they know they can control the media. I think it's what Shedeur said. Damn, that was fast. Because that's what I said, based off the conversation we had here last night, that everybody that gets close to Shedeur gets dealt with, retaliated against, moved out. And now, I said, they ain't do that to Flacco. I probably said it. They wouldn't do that to Flacco because he's white. But they did it to Flacco. And he's white. So what does that tell you? It ain't good, whatever it is. It said, but everyone sees them. We are not stupid. We know what Shedeur is. Right. And you're right. Everybody sees them. And no, we are not stupid. That's like the NFL has players with contract clauses that say they can't say anything negative on their social media, as if the only way fans are going to notice something is going on with the NFL, say the Browns, is if the players tell us, what the hell? We can see, we can discern, we can understand, we know context, we understand. They feel like the players have to be tight-lipped about everything, or the fans gonna find out. They don't want the players to tell what's going on the inside, which is why they don't like recording on the inside, which is why I was shocked they let that media come into the locker room. But that was the locker room. I think the area where, not where they get dressed, but maybe that other area where Shedeur and Quinshon Judkins were when they first got together, maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. I don't know. But I was shocked that they let them in there because they didn't even want Shedeur to record when he was recording the pair of socks that Quinshon had on. He was telling Quinshon how to wear his uniform because apparently you get fined if you don't wear it the right way, the socks and all of that stuff. And they didn't want Shedeur filming, I don't think, nowhere on the property. So control. They like to control the players 100%. And in my opinion, Flacco went further than anybody else when it comes to gravitating towards Shedeur. But they said after London, that's it. I heard other teams were calling to trade for Shedeur. I don't think so. Honestly, I don't know. I think Shedeur's movement is being restricted not just by the Browns, but by the people that took him off the board, which were the 32 owners. We know the owners will do everything together. They incestuously close. Remember, I can collude with you. And if one of y'all want to run out here and get Shedeur, I'm going to collude against you. That's why they incestuously close. It ain't because they just friends. It's so they can keep tabs on, everybody got to walk in lockstep. They're supposed to be competing for talent, but that's not what's happening. And that became apparent when Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson brought up a grievance about black quarterbacks not getting the guaranteed contracts. Because people don't know Kirk Cousins got the guaranteed contract. That's discrimination, but you see it had to go to arbitration, and you see how that turned out. So thankfully, Brian Flores' lawsuit keep moving forward through the court system. But then we see how that turned out too. It said Shedeur is not going to play. They're going to keep him on the bench. That's possible. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you what they're doing, but what I can tell you is getting rid of Flacco was not something they anticipated last week. Getting rid of Flacco was not something, benching Flacco was not something they were planning to do after the Lions game. That came, and so now Flacco is gone after the London game, where Shedeur and Flacco were seen being, inseparable working together. Right here in this picture, you see Flacco got in Shedeur. I can't tell you there's a picture out there with Flacco got in Dylan. I don't know. Maybe I don't look at those, or maybe they don't exist. Flacco likes Shedeur. That was obvious to me when he came to Shedeur on the sideline to see if he was okay. And I think that was that Rams game. And I pointed out, I said, Tony was trying to get to Shedeur because what they wanted is for Shedeur to go out there, be sacked 5 times, humiliated and embarrassed, and none of his teammates gravitate towards him. The Browns know that the sideline matters because they've pointed out when Shedeur is out there playing, they all excited. But when Dylan out there playing, they just over there. So they try to control the sideline while Shedeur was being sacked relentlessly 5 times by the Goon Squad that got dismissed the next day. But Flacco went over to him, and nothing happened to Flacco because they needed Flacco. I don't need you no more. Dylan can check down his way, and Quinshon Judkins can get it done. And we done told you about this before, even though they didn't. Or he could have said something to them about the way Shedeur was being treated because he liked Shedeur. And he knew, Flacco knew, if them incentives was going to be met, Shedeur was going to be the one to get me there along with myself because it ain't going to be Dylan. I ain't get off my couch for this. And he could have said something about it. And just like we didn't know that they were working on the trade with the Bengals that they could have made for Shedeur. That tells you Shedeur's movement is restricted. What happens next will also speak volumes. But it's telling you, if anybody, white, black, purple, green, or brown, get close to Shedeur, you got to go. We're going to put you out. Man, hold up. Sanders is ready. Can't wait. Yeah, he ready. They don't want him to ball out, though. Just like they didn't want to acknowledge Travis learned these skills and exhibited these skills at Colorado. I don't know where he learned them at. But the point is, he already did this at Colorado. They don't want to talk about that because Coach Prime is the head coach, and they too busy, like I said before, trying to make Coach Prime look like he can't coach, which is why I strongly encourage Coach Prime to demote or move the hell out the way Pat Schumer and get Brett Bertolone to call those plays solo in the booth because we know we can trust him to call a game that's strategic and not one that gives away the plays to the other teams because that's what's been happening. And we play Iowa, and I told you every team we play that got something to gain we gonna go out there and start fast and win. Them kids not gonna win because we letting the other team win. Matter of fact, somebody said it. This last game, TCU. Oh, this game was gift wrapped. Sure was. So was Georgia Tech. Sure was BYU. And Rocco Becht is a junior that's eligible for the NFL, just like Hoover is eligible for the NFL. And it's going to be gift wrapped to him too. Unless them kids can do like I said last week. Y'all going to have to get your heads together and y'all going to have to make a way. Because you're not going to have no future. They're not protecting your future, Caden. They're not protecting your future, Cecile Brown. I ain't sure they're protecting Omarion's either. It looked like it, don't it? It looked like it, but then again, am I really, when I call the same play twice in a row and they pull up with double coverage? No, I'm telling them what we're going to do. They using that because they know y'all like certain players or you want to see certain players. I like all the players. I don't give a damn. I just watched Omarion do a tour of his house. I'm like, are you still in college? Because I told y'all when the season started, my heart ached when I found out this was his last year. So I like all of the players, but I know what's going on too. I know that they choosing who they think y'all want to see Omarion. Y'all wanted to see somebody like Shedeur. So that's why you got stopped. You got Omarion, but you don't have Sincere Brown. Go look at the numbers for Colorado's wide receivers last year. They spread that ball around. Pat Schumer was here. Why the hell he can't do it right now? Choices. So I pray. Coach Prime, I pray. This the game right here. That Brett Bertolone has that headset and he's calling these plays. I pray. In Jesus' name, amen. For these kids' sake. For Coach Prime's sake, too. Flacco family has Italian roots. Okay, he seemed nice, though. I don't trust the Browns. They might put Zap over Shedeur. Right, so don't get excited till we see what the play is. Because believe me, there is a play. The play could be, you know what, just going to push Shedeur out there so they can shut the hell up. And don't block for him. Because isn't that what happened with the Rams? I'm telling you, if I see that, it's on. Some kind of way. It's going to be on. Because I'm telling you, I'm paying attention to who the quarterbacks are that get in and how they get sacked and who blowing that coverage or who don't do their assignment. I'm paying attention because it's telling you that they still hating on Shedeur, but we're going to let you get hurt. I blow it all up. It said Flacco did not reach his incentive percentage and obligation with the Browns, so he'll get his base pay $4 million, not the $13 million in incentives. Is he gonna get his base pay? You mean from the Bengals? Yeah, we know he didn't reach his incentives because he got kicked out. But here's the question: that contract that he signed, that's what he gets traded with, right? He gets traded with that contract for $4 million. And do the incentives apply over in Cleveland? I mean, Cincinnati. But I don't even know if he's gonna play over there. We'll see. Stefanski, yeah, people are saying there's some coach that came out for the Bucks that used to be a coach for the Bucks, the Buccaneers, came out on the record and said, I don't know how he's had his job this long. What did one of our fans, Camaro Kitchen, came and told us at the beginning of the season, Flacco should have been fired 2 years ago. And now people want to come on the record and say, Stefanski should have been fired 2 years ago. Or I don't know how he had his job this long. How many times have we talked about how did he win the Coach of the Year award and not Mike Tomlin? Because he's a faithful servant to the Cleveland Browns. And y'all know he ain't talking about his job. That's why. They can count on him to do exactly what he's doing to Shedeur and anybody else. It said, I've never heard of even a high school team sharing lockers. That's trash. Yeah, that's trash, but that's what it is. I was like, I don't know what their lockers look like, but okay. If it's like what Shedeur and them showed us, when they first got in there, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you would do that, but that's what it was. And obviously, you could see that maybe they was build some type of wide receiver QB1 chemistry, but to me, okay, maybe, but it was really more about intimidating Jerry Jeudy and keeping him away from Shedeur. That's what I saw because I had just watched the video with Jerry Jeudy and Russell Wilson up at Colorado. I said, oh, so Jerry Jeudy know Shedeur. I was like, that's why he's sharing a locker with Flacco, so he'll get close to Shedeur. Oh, they tripping up there. They trying to intimidate him. Flacco gone. And Judy, before Flacco left, Judy wasn't even the top receiver. So that tell you that they was just using Judy. It said, deep down, believe me, this is all scripted for ratings, ticket sales, hold him back, make his debut highly anticipated. So much attention on him. Once we do start him, he'll break records. Okay, let me tell you why I would believe you. I would believe you if they weren't mistreating him. I would believe you if they were like encouraging him, helping to develop him. No, they holding him back to the point where it went viral and they had to bow to the pressure again when it went public that Shedeur wasn't getting scout team reps. So then they devised this program where Shedeur got to stay late, which is begrudgingly giving Shedeur scout team reps. They weren't doing it. They were forced into it, but they're doing it begrudgingly. That's the same thing with the draft. They were going to get him at number 2. They didn't because he was locked out the first round. So they decided to go get Dylan. Then they had already decided to get Flacco around April 10th. So they already had a plan that didn't include Shedeur, but they were forced into getting Shedeur. So now they're doing it begrudgingly. They are abusing him. I'm not saying they tied him to a tree and beating him. No. Emotionally. Taking away everybody that gets close to him so he can feel isolated. That's abusive. If you did that to a kid, you'd be in jail. Shedeur playing next month. Yep, they got to let him play at some point. They have to let him play at some point, but are they developing him? Do we get to see their practices? I don't follow them no more. Maybe I got to go back and follow Daniel Oyefuse and see. Are they still posting? Is he now getting first team reps? At QB2, is he getting first team reps so he can be ready? That's the real question. What's going on behind the scenes? Is this just performative or is this just to hurt Flacco? And now, just like you didn't know I was working on a deal to move out Flacco, you don't know I'm working on a deal to move out Shedeur. You got to wait and see. But you can predict, and you might be right. But you still have to wait and see what actually happens. It said Dylan Gabriel with all of these check downs, dink and dunks. How long can that last? All season? Because that's the plan. That's the plan. I said it from the beginning. I said all they going to do is use, when Quinshon Judkins come back, they going to just let Dylan hand off the ball to Quinshon Judkins. I said that before Quinshon Judkins left. Or before he was gone. That's the plan. The plan is for the defense to be the superheroes. For Quinshon Judkins or running back 1, Dylan just hand off the ball to him and check down in the red zone, throw a touchdown, something safe. They call it conservative. It's a booster chair with a strap around the waist so he don't fall out and hurt himself. It's a booster chair. Translation, Flacco talks to whoever he wants to, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. You know, we're going to see. Because he showed gone, like Shedeur said. That was fast. Right. Because they was together, inseparable. One learning from Flacco teaching Shedeur, and now Flacco gone. Pay attention to that happened to Huntley. Shedeur told us Huntley was helping him, and Huntley gone. But they went get Bailey Zapp. They could have put Huntley on the practice squad right there. If he on the practice squad in Baltimore, he could be right here. They didn't want him. They just wanted him in front of Shedeur. I told y'all don't get lost on the fact that he was black. And see how they did him? QB2 is exploding their heads. They already got a plan. When y'all think they start talking about moving Flacco out? Remember, they had to put this trade together. So when you think they started talking about moving Flacco out, Flacco didn't play in London. So what the hell you trading me for? You should have been trading Dylan. To be honest, you should have sent Dylan over there. Why? I mean, let's be honest. I said it. Dylan is a hair better than Flacco. Only because he's younger and he can run. Retaliation. That was fast. Because that's what I said. I think they played Dylan Gabriel till bye week. At least depending on how he plays. He can't turn over the ball. Right. Remember what they said when the season started? Flacco gonna be QB1. And the Browns have no hesitation with taking him out and put Dylan in if he start making turnovers. Did that happen? No. Were they planning to get rid of him after the Lions game? No. So what changed? He didn't play in the London game. So what changed? Just imagine Shedeur coming in at week 7 when they're on their last leg of having playoff hopes. He win and make the playoffs. Then he has the ultimate comeback story. You could make a whole movie out of it. You could, but they already prepared to lose. So yeah, you could. See, the Browns are prepared to lose. They have 2 first-round picks. One they got from trading Travis, that pick for Travis, which is why I'm shocked that anybody's shocked that Travis is balling out because, I mean, you did make him number 2 pick. He was the Heisman. He did ball out at Colorado. Again, I think that's a shot at Coach Prime.